Informed, outspoken, wild, fearless, hardly ever politically correct. This is the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent here with the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. I am joined by Phil and Jordan. As usual, the dudes are buzzing. Seth is out. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's sick, what he is.
Skip-Bo tournament.
Yeah, Skip-Bo tournament. He's a real big board game buff. But anyway, Seth is not here, but your main dudes are here. Jordan, can you give us a Duval chant? I know you're pumped up. I know you've been waiting for this. You know, biggest win in a while, you know, maybe the biggest win ever in Jaguars history that they didn't think they were going to win, right?
I would agree with that.
Defining moment for Trevor Lawrence.
Defining moment for Trevor Lawrence. You ready for the Duval?
Do
it.
Hit it.
Duval!
That never gets old.
No,
you know?
never.
Yeah, listeners were reaching out, wanting to know how Jordan was doing. They were scared. They were afraid you send a little message out on Instagram that, you know, you just weren't doing okay. Maybe I sent out a message for you.
For me.
Well, when a team goes down 27-0, like, what were you thinking, Jordan? Were you just like...
Well, I didn't... I was busy until about right till like 5:15. By the time I got in front of a TV, it was already 7-0 Chargers. And I'm just like, what is going on? I looked and Trevor Lawrence had thrown a pick already. And then as I'm like walking into the house, sitting in front of the TV, I see on my phone, he threw another pick. And so it's just like, and he just threw the pick on fourth down. I asked my dad, I was like, because I went to my parents' house to watch the game. I was like, what happened? He was just like, oh, like it wasn't really his fault, either of them, or the first two or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, and then they go down and score, and it's 27-0, and I'm just like, well, I was like, this sucks, you know? And then they get the touchdown before halftime. I'm like, okay, we were on the board like 27-7 at halftime, and then they just kept scoring, and they got a stop. They just kept getting stops, and Chargers missed the field goal, and then I was just like, a couple things happened. I think that to kind of go in their favor, you know, they got a couple. They got away with maybe a false start, and Joey Bosa got real mad, got a penalty.
That was a weird deal.
Get a 2-point
weird.
Get 2-point conversion. In fairness, they thought there was a PI not calling the previous 2-point conversion, so maybe it evened out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then they just got the stop, and they went down and scored. I picked a field goal. The field goal I thought was gonna miss because it was hooking right.
I thought it was gonna miss,
and you couldn't really tell like on the TV, and I watched it multiple times afterwards. Like it was kind of. You couldn't see the ball that clearly. I think with the background, it was hard to see, and it snuck through, and yeah, it was crazy.
That was
emotional roller coaster.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're down 27-0 in the game, like 27-0.
Were you like chip eating nervous or what? What?
Were you pacing? Because people, you know.
Oh, I didn't sit down most of the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, I was right there with you in spirit.
I mean, like
spirit.
I was fired up. I'm a Jags fan in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because like my phone, I got a lot of texts from people like
praying for you, thoughts and
prayer.
like
after the game, like
girls you never thought would talk to you.
Because I'm guessing where we're from around here, like there's not many Jaguar fans.
No, you're the only Jags fan I know.
You're the only Jags fan west of the Mississippi. There's like a good chance.
Yeah, I love that you like it, and believe it or not, like there were so many people that were asking, like,
and there's a lot of Charger fans around here.
Oh, yes. My brother,
his
best buddy.
I have like two buddies that are Charger fans. So I have one Charger fan who texted me the meme, like, the guy has gone viral now in the meme. He's the big football player now. You guys, this meme right here.
Oh, the Popeyes guy.
The Popeyes guy meme.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
He texted me, and he was just like, he just texted me that. And I said, yeah, the Jags suck. This is embarrassing. Hey, this is almost the trick, you know? Because we talked about early in the season, I said the Jags suck, you know? So
they turned around.
They turn around. It's the trick. I got it. So, yeah, and I'm sure he felt real stupid, you know, after the Jags won.
Well, here's the thing. My wife is a huge Chargers fan.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Her brother is a huge Chargers fan. My wife, we're watching the game, and it's the fourth quarter. The Chargers, you know, it's like the Jags are driving. They're about to kick the field goal. My wife texts her brother, my brother-in-law, and says, "Hey, you watching the Chargers game?" And he said, "Yes, but it's on DVR. Don't tell me. Just starting the third quarter. And I just wanted to tell him, like, oh, just tell him to turn it off. Like, just tell him to turn. She's like, no, he told me not to tell him. And he texts her later, like, just like, you know, like, can't believe this, you know. But
my brother was so
I don't know
mad.
what he said, but yeah, it was just funny. You know, yeah, DVR. It's like, I almost feel like if I was DVRing something like that, I'd just be like, hey, just tell me, you know, like.
Well, yeah.
I'll catch the Sports Center
well,
highlights.
if you really think about it, if you're DVRing it and you're in the third quarter, like
you're pumped.
You are.
Oh yeah,
you are pumped up.
You're like, let's go. We're up 27-7.
This is like for that
on
moment,
the road.
Yes. And in that moment, that's like, you know, like when you have something, you go to a restaurant and you have something, it's like really delicious, and then you put it in your fridge. You're like, man, I'm really looking forward to those leftovers. And then you open the fridge and they're just like someone else ate them, right? That's probably how your brother-in-law felt a little bit.
The best part is Trent. He got a text from his sister saying, like, you watching the game. Well, he knows that the game is probably close to being over, right?
Yeah.
And so he either knows that, like, there's only a couple reasons she would text him. Like, they either won, like, close or they lost close. Like, because would she have texted him if it was, like, they won by 20?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
But I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying.
Like, that text has to be a little ominous. Like, are you watching the Chargers game?
Yeah.
You knowing that you're about an hour and a half behind or an hour behind.
Terrible feeling.
You're like, wonder what happened now.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. That was so.
Were you lighting your brother up? Were you just letting him have it? You know,
no, he was at a
shooter emoji text.
No, he was at a. So he was like, oh man, poor Jordan. This sucks for Jordan.
Yes, I love
it. And then later on, he just calls me. He's like, "What just happened?" Like he was just so mad.
Was he crying?
No, he was
sobbing.
Mad. No, I could barely hear him. He was at a hockey game, but he called me and he was like, "What the heck?"
So he wasn't even watching the game.
He was keeping track of it.
Okay.
Like he's a huge Chargers fan, but I think he was like, he got invited last minute to this hockey game. One of his friends who works for the organization,
like professional hockey game.
Yeah, professional hockey game. And he works for the organization. So my brother's like, yeah, for sure, I'll go and support you. You know. And so he was there, and then as he's watching it, he calls me, and he's just like, "What is going on?" It's a rough one. That was
Man, Trevor Lawrence is the real deal, though.
I honestly think, Jordan, after watching that game, I'm like, I don't know if it'll be this year. I'm kind of getting those like Cincinnati vibes we got last year, though. Like, I don't think the Jags are going to win this year, but I think Trevor Lawrence is good enough that he will at least get to the Super Bowl. I think someday.
The Jaguars were
sure.
a -5 turnover differential and won a playoff game.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, for someone to throw 4 interceptions in the first half.
Yeah, no, it's
4 interceptions in the first half.
He had completed more passes to that one guy on the Chargers than he had to his teammate.
And continues to believe.
And then to come back.
Continues to believe.
He continues to believe.
Think about it, the mental like fortitude of someone like that to be like, okay, like I'm just going to keep playing. Like, it's a perfect example of mental toughness.
And I'm not making fun of him, but when they won, he was like, he like barely smiled and like jogged off the field. Like, I mean, he was like excited.
Well, he did. I mean, there's the one clip of him where he's like running around like.
Yeah, but the guy like he wasn't overly excited when they won.
I think
I don't think he was overly sad when they were down. Like it was just like
he's very even keeled.
He's
and
very
I think that's
even
what
keeled.
makes him good. Like
something that I wish I was maybe a little, had a little more in me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was listening to the interview after the game.
Like I was. We're gonna hopefully talk about this, but like my emotions were just. Like, I was more energetic than when he won the Super Bowl than when we went into half winning, Like the Seahawks is what I'm saying. Like, when we went into half winning, I was going nuts. Probably more excited than Trevor Lawrence, but continue.
No, I listened to his interview, and I think honestly where a lot of that came from is he was more relieved, I think, that he didn't let his team... Like,
yeah,
like,
you're
it
right.
was more like... Because he said in the interview that, like, this is on me, the reason that we even had to win like this, you know? Like... We should not have been down in this situation, and I can't throw 4 picks, and then, like you said, it's awesome we won like this, but this is not a sustainable way to win games. And I think he was more like relieved and happy that like they kind of figured it out, and he's not going to have to think about for the next 4 months how he just dug themselves into a hole, Yeah.
How about Zay Jones?
Stud.
Yeah. Phil, you know,
I'll say Phil was right about Zay Jones, and I don't know about. A year ago, Phil was right about Zay Jones when he was on the Raiders. But
no, Phil was right about Zay Jones and Brock Purdy. Here's the thing. No one was talking about Brock Purdy when Phil was talking about Brock Purdy last
Facts.
March.
Phil,
Facts.
Last
Trent,
March, Phil was talking about
Trent.
Brock Purdy.
Facts.
Is that a soundbite? Do we have that? You might need to clip that.
I might need to dig that up.
You need
Yeah,
to dig
I
that
got
up.
mocked, openly mocked for.
I think we need to dig that up, Trent. I'm not going to lie. That might be good.
Yeah,
The
we
thing
don't
is, I
have it on
talked about
video,
it
but
for
we
like
do
a-
have it.
You need to get the clip, and we can like put
It's
Phil's
just-
face on it.
yeah.
and
I
we
think it was
can-
like at least like 30 seconds of me saying why I liked Brock Purdy.
Trent, I really think you got to pull that one up
I need
there.
to pull up the Brock Purdy clip.
Can I tell? Are we going to move to the Seahawks game? Here?
Well, most people just said they wanted to hear, Jordan talk about the
That's
Jaguars
true.
for 3 hours.
Well,
so-
I mean, the crazy part is, and I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for this because they're playing the Chiefs next week, and I'm like,
I hope Trevor Lawrence makes Jordan hate Patrick Mahomes.
oh no,
I would love nothing more.
I am on record saying, Patrick, you're my guy. You've done a lot of good things for me. I'll continue to support you, but this week I hope you throw 5 picks and you quit at halftime. And then on next year, week 1 of next year, we're right back on the Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes on the wagon.
That might be a clip.
But Mahomes, oh no, it's going to be a tough game though. Yeah, I like Mahomes, but obviously, the Jags are always going to come first. So.
Well, and hear me out. If the
And
Jags,
Trevor Lawrence is he's just as fun to root for as Mahomes.
he really is. If the Jags were in the NFC,
Yeah.
they would have a much better chance. I think.
The AFC is tough. I mean, it's Chiefs, Bills. It's Chiefs, Jags, Bengals,
Bengals
and Bills.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no shame if we lose. If it ends this week, there's no shame in it losing to the Chiefs, right?
Honestly, the Bengals and Bills might rather play each other than play the Jags right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the Jags are kind of hot. And they're kind of finding ways to win games,
Where the Bills and the Bengals kind of just like what's the word, like sleptwalk? No, like.
yeah.
It was
Well,
a
look at their
grind.
game
It
against
was
the
a
Raiders.
grind.
Look at them against the Raiders last year. Like it's very similar.
That's true.
Like
They
a
both-
very similar style game.
They both had to grind out games. And I know the Jags obviously had to grind it out in a different way, but there was momentum, I think, that you can carry into next week. Like, to your point, though, of the Ravens have beat the Bengals, would the Bills have wanted to play the Jaguars coming off that win with all the confidence in the world.
Yeah.
If you can just come back from 27-0, you have all the confidence to do anything in the world.
Well, they may have to because Patrick Mahomes could easily put up 27 points.
Oh, no, 100%. But my point is, to your point, I think Trent's right. I think they're happy that they don't have to play. Because the Bengals and the Bills both didn't look great this week.
No.
The Bills were a 14-point favorite.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it's in the Bengals' favor that they don't have a bye the last 2 years. Like they get kind of slowly start picking up. If they were in maybe in the Titans position last year where they came into the look what happened to the Titans last year. Do you get what I'm saying a little bit with
That's
the
true.
Bengals?
Yeah, they were the last seed last year. No, the Raiders were.
Raiders were last seed last year. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a. Yeah, I love playoff football. Playoff football is
This
it's
week,
incredible.
this weekend was awesome, and I know we have one more game next week that Trent's Cowboys and the Buccaneers, but it should be a good game too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a really awesome 2 days of playoff football.
So we're gonna continue recapping the Super Wild Card weekend. It sounds so weird saying Super Wild Card. We got some divas, and we will do our picks. Seth didn't send in his picks, but we can get those from him later.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's gonna be tough, Trent, because we don't
know who's up yet.
Yeah, we don't know who the
NFC side is going to look like.
We don't. Well, doesn't the winner play the 49ers?
Oh, so you say just choose one of them who's
Is
playing
that-
the 49ers.
right? You
I
know
mean,
what
I'm gonna take the 49ers.
Or we don't even have to do that one anyways. You know what I mean? We could wait and just send it in the group text.
That's true.
you
That's
know?
true.
But yeah,
So is this wild card weekend round 2?
ever since they extended it, I don't think do they call it divisional or
Yeah, they call it
It's
divisional.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. So what's it called? Yeah, Phill was on major. Is it actually? Let me ask you this, Jordan. When were you just it's over? Was it halftime? Was it first quarter? Second quarter?
If I'm being completely honest, I was at 27-0, I was just kind of, which is in the second quarter, I was kind of well, maybe we could get a couple scores here, make it competitive, make it so it's we don't completely embarrass ourselves on national TV in front of the whole world. I mean, and then I think the other question is when did I start thinking we could actually win the game again? Was probably when we were we scored 2 unanswered touchdowns. It was 30-21. It was 30 or 30-20 in the third quarter, I think. And I'm this is still doable. Like now we can do this. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. No, wild game. Phill, yeah, and you like.
I
Jordan-
didn't turn the game on until the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Well,
and
here's-
so I was like, whoa, what? Like, I was out at dinner. I told Trent about this great barbecue place a couple miles away from us, and
You are such a moron. I can't stand it when Phill will text. Yeah, you honestly could be my diva of the week, but it's like when you text someone like, "Hey, this place is really good to eat at," and then they go like 3 years later, like, "Hey, man, just so you know, there's this good place to eat at. You should check it out," and act like they totally thought of the place on
No,
their own. It's
I'm
like,
joking,
It's like
'cause
Phill, I told you about that place years ago.
it's not true. I mean, it is true. He did tell me about it years ago, and I ended up going there. I'm like, oh, this is a pretty good spot. Anyhow, I didn't get there until the fourth quarter, but it was just, I mean, it was such a fun game. It wasn't fun, I'm sure, for you, like through half, but then
the fourth quarter was fun.
Yeah, it was
Well,
insane.
here's the thing: is like both you guys were majorly on tilt this week. You know, like Phill and Seth were texting like, "Let's go!" You know, going up at half,
fired
so
up.
pumped up. Then like halfway through the fourth quarter, Phill sends a text. I hate my 20-year-old self for choosing this as my favorite team.
Is that, no, wait, did I say that?
No, Jordan always used to
yes,
he always
yes,
says
I was
that, I
like,
hate
yeah,
my
yeah,
9-year-old
yeah.
self for choosing
Yeah,
the
I was like-
Jaguars. Phil's like, I hate my 20-year-old self for choosing the Seahawks.
He's like, I hate my father-in-law for being a Seahawks fan.
Oh, man.
I've been saving that all weekend, just so you know.
Yeah, you've been giggling about that to yourself. The game started off, I was like, so I went to this burger place also. So I did a lot of eating out this weekend, but I went
We
to
can tell.
I went to this burger place, and the burger place is attached to a grocery store and gas station.
I've been there.
It's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Decent burgers. They're pretty good. But there was these three ladies walked in that were Niner fan. They were all decked out in Niner gears. I didn't have any Seahawks gears on,
Thankfully.
But they came in. They were being like super loud. They're just like having a good time, like whatever. It was actually pretty funny. And they bought this huge bottle of Tito's vodka. And so I'm like kind of like laughing at them. And then I go like, oh yeah, you guys are going to need that when your team loses against the Seahawks. And then they're just like, what? Like they just start talking trash to me. And so then it's like kind of like a funny exchange or whatever. And I'm like, go Hawks. And then
Phill takes his shirt off and his whole chest is painted green.
no. Then this ambulance goes by, and I had stopped talking to these ladies. Like, you know, my dad and I were just like checking out, and I stopped talking to them because, like, obviously it was just like a quick exchange. And so this like ambulance goes by, and then one of these ladies yells from like the other side of the convenience store because they're buying like a bunch of alcohol. That's someone going to pick up a Seahawks fan who talked too much trash.
Hey, I want those two on the pod. No,
It was three.
awesome.
It was actually so funny. I was like dying laughing. Like I was like checking out or whatever, and they're like talking trash from the corner of the store. But I was like dying laughing. Anyhow, I enjoyed those burgers, and I was just far too excited going into half with 17-16, and then it just went to trash. So it was fun while it lasted, but they definitely overachieved this year. I mean, and I don't think they would have done any better in this game with Russell Wilson. Like I don't think anything would have changed.
Do
You still think that Russell Wilson's good at football, Phil?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, or even last year's Russell
They
Wilson.
wouldn't have been in the playoffs with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think, like, nothing, they overachieved. I don't think anything else, like.
Oh, yeah, 100% they
anything- yeah,
overachieved.
Yeah. I mean, Bruce Irvin surprisingly had a really good game, and the guy is like a couple of years older than I am. You know what I'm saying? I run a 40 in like 5'1", 5'2", probably still. Anyhow.
You just had to throw that in
we
there.
might need to time that.
No, there's no way I run it in
What do you
5'2".
like? Is this actually? Let's just a quick announcement here. We got a new sponsor. You know, if you watch us on YouTube at tffdudes or follow us on Instagram and Twitter at
Yep.
tffdudes. New sponsor, Manscaped. You know, came
Manscaped,
out. You know,
yep.
reached out to your dudes. You know, to help your dudes out. Should we clap it up for that?
Let's
You know,
clap it up. Let's clap it up for a new sponsor.
Yeah. So promo code dudes20. And you will save yourself 20% off
Dudes,
anything.
20.
You
Is
don't-
that your whole order, Trent, or is it one item?
It's your whole order.
The whole order. So you
Yeah,
can just
so
load the
yeah,
load the
really load it
card,
up.
load the card, and get 20% off right
And
there.
I'm actually gonna, the guy behind our camera right now, he said that it's the second time he's used
The
got
code. A
something.
code.
No, a code. So you can use the code more than once if you've already used it.
Okay.
Used a code, you can use our code also.
you can only
So-
use our code once, though.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So go check that out. Dudes 20, save 20% off. They got, foot dusters, refined cologne, the Plow 2.0, nice little shaver for your face.
Yeah.
and much more. We got the what is that on the weed whacker for your?
We got the
nose
weed
or-
whacker.
And
nose
then- and
hairs.
What's the big one there? They got the lawnmower 4.0.
Lawnmower 4.0, the only lawnmower you can use in the rain.
In the rain with a light.
Yeah, with a light.
It's got a flashlight.
It is waterproof.
The flashlight is
Yeah.
automatic. As soon as you turn that puppy on.
In the
it
Central
is-
Valley, you haven't been able to mow your lawn because it's raining. You could use the lawnmower 4.0 potentially.
Yep. And safely
Safely,
use that
safely.
thing. You know, a lot of people are worried about safety these days. This thing is, as they tell us, extremely safe. You know, I am, you know, I kind of, and they send it. The nice thing is you can use it. I mean, they come with clippers, right? So if you decided just to use it only on your face, you could in theory do that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you could in theory do that. Nice little trimmer. Yeah, it's great.
What about the underwear? Has anyone tried the underwear?
I mean, we have a lot of athletes, former athletes that listen to this podcast, runners. I'm a runner, as you guys know. Great, absolutely great apparel. That's all I'll say.
Good for running.
Good for running. Good for physical activity. You know, I would strongly recommend.
Do they run big? They run right on size.
I would say go up a size.
Go up a size.
Go up a
Interesting.
size. Yeah.
Does it vary per person?
It potentially. I don't know.
Potentially.
I don't really know. I'm going to be honest with you.
All right.
I just
well,
want to say it makes
yeah.
you uncomfortable right now.
You now have the right tools for safe and precise grooming in the hard to navigate sensitive areas, plus post trimming products to keep your dudes dry and fresh all day long. Dudes 20, save 20% on your order. Really helps us out, guys. And
I'll say one more thing. I think a lot of people think about this product in a specific way, but as you start to get older, there's a lot of folks that get ear hair.
oh yeah, I'm not there yet, but I'm not going to ask you because that'd be too personal.
You can see I don't have my headphones on. I was wondering actually if that's why you wore the over the ears, but the you got to make sure that these things, like, you don't want to you don't want to go around with a nicked ear, right? Like what happened,
no.
you know? You don't want to walk
You
around.
don't want to nick anything.
You don't want to, and so this thing is safe. You know, use it there, get the ear hair off. There's a lot of different things you could use it for. There you go, Trent. All right, moving on here. What do we got? What else do we got here?
Well, I'm just, 49ers, is this like, are we never going to see Trey Lance again? Like, if the 49ers don't go to the Super Bowl or lose the Super Bowl, is there a chance that we don't see Trey Lance again? Because there's a lot of people online, just talking about how Brock Purdy's a system quarterback and, Trey Lance would be way better if he could be in this system. We just haven't had the time to put him in there. And I feel like it is too soon to write Lance off, especially first round draft pick.
The Niners are in a tough spot. Like, they're in a tough spot, but not a tough spot at the same time. Like, they have a good quarterback. But I think to your point, like, we don't know what he'll do. Like, he'll be next year when teams actually have a lot of film on him. It's hard to know, I think. Yeah. Is he Tom Brady, or is he just, like a Nick Foles who had a crazy run? Like, we don't know. Or who else had a crazy Case Keenum had a crazy run with the Vikings.
Right.
Like, we don't know if he's Tom Brady or if he's just one of these guys who are kind of a one and done run type of deal where they go on a really hot run and then it's who's the guy with the Bears guy who led him to a Super Bowl?
He wasn't that. He was either like 4 touchdowns or 4 picks though. I can't think of his name right now.
What was his name?
Didn't we just talk about him, Trent? Didn't I? Do you remember me calling you and asking about that?
I don't think so. Bears quarterback. Yes, you did. Bears QB in Super Bowl. Someone's just screaming. All the Lions fans who listen to our pod are just screaming his name.
Not Grossman,
It's
right?
Grossman.
Was it Grossman?
Grossman went to the Super Bowl, yeah.
I don't think it's Grossman who I'm talking about.
Grossman went to the Super Bowl. You're thinking of the guy that played for the Broncos also.
No, it's Grossman then.
Yeah. Grossman went to the Super Bowl. And then, I know you're in the football card space, Jordan, but like the Brock Purdy cards are like the hottest cards on the market
Yeah,
right
I need
now.
to check to see if I have any of those laying around.
And if you do, you probably should
what class
sell it
he's the...
this year. He's a
Yeah, I
rookie.
definitely have some unopened boxes that are good because the other rookie quarterbacks in this class,
You
might be.
You might should open those because some of those are going for like $5,000.
or you just keep the boxes and hopefully Brock Purdy is going to be a stud, and then people will pay more for the boxes.
It's true, but
hoping they can open up some of the cards.
Yeah, the Brock Purdy one though. Well, no, but they don't have enough Brock Purdy cards.
I need to see
they didn't make it.
He has rookie cards in. That's a good question. Like, what is rookie cards in?
Because there's like a scramble for them. People can't find them. Like they're gonna start making them more. But yeah, that's like one of the big ones. what about, we're talking about the 49ers there. They look good. They really turned it into gear second
Wow, that's
half.
great. Sorry. PSA has only graded 26 Brock Purdy cards compared to almost 2,000 of Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, so like if you have one, it
Yeah, I don't know if I have any of these boxes, though, of these ones.
might need to do a little reveal here, a little card opening on the show.
I don't think I have any of the ones he's actually in.
But
What happened with? I'm trying to remember what happened with Alex Smith, and when he was injured and then he came back. Did they give him his starting job?
no,
back?
they didn't. They didn't. They kept Kaepernick.
Kaepernick,
Yeah,
right?
and they went to the Super Bowl
Yes, you were right.
and they lost.
And the following year, they didn't. Alex Smith went to
Kansas
Chiefs.
City, yeah.
Yeah. So they've been in this situation a couple times at this point, right?
Yeah, two for sure. I don't know if there's like any as notable as these two.
No, for sure. No, nothing as notable as these two. But yeah, I mean, this is just an interesting situation. If the Niners don't start Purdy, like I think he'd probably want to maybe go somewhere else.
Maybe so.
He makes good decisions with the ball. I don't know where I don't know if there's hate necessarily, but
There's a lot of weapons though, Phil. Like he has Kittle. Like they said they didn't. That Lance, I don't even think has played with like a healthy Kittle.
he does have a lot of. He has a ton
and
of weapons.
CMC. Lance never played with CMC, but it's just
So a lot of the hate comes from people who watched him at Iowa State. I know you liked him at Iowa. Like he was fine, but like he wasn't good at Iowa State.
It's blue collar. No, yeah. I mean, I hear it, and you're right. He has a lot of weapons. Like it's just
and a good defense. Like he just really needs to not lose them the game. But Daniel Jones, I thought, looked really good today.
heck yeah.
Got a nice prize picks play with Daniel Jones over on the passing yards. Like he hammered it.
And he ran the ball a ton, which was
Ran the ball a ton. Like
and actually was running pretty good.
Trent, you were the only one to pick the Giants to beat the Vikings.
I thought I picked the Giants.
I always go against primetime Kirk.
We all said we thought it'd be a good game, but like we thought, and then Minnesota would.
I need to
pull
go
it
back
out.
and listen
Giants
to it.
are another team I don't really want to play either. Like the Giants.
Giants Eagles. That should be a game.
That'll be a good game because the Eagles have beat them twice, right?
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones looks a lot better.
Well, I like how people were
Healthy
talking
Barkley.
trash. They basically were talking trash on the coach from the Bills going over to the Giants and how it really wasn't going to make that big of a difference on like Daniel Jones' running ability. Like he's not going to turn into Josh Allen. He's definitely not Josh Allen. But like they look pretty good.
Yeah.
He looks good.
The tough part for the Giants is do you think Daniel Jones is the long-term answer at quarterback though? Because now they're in a spot where they have to kind of keep going with, and he's on his 5th year of his rookie contract, right?
Yeah.
So they have to kind of just re-sign him because you can't not re-sign the quarterback who has played well and won you a playoff game. But is he actually the long-term answer at quarterback for the Giants? I don't know.
I loved how they were using him today. Lots of designed runs with him.
Is he? Like, does he strike you as someone who could win a Super Bowl?
Probably not.
I don't know if there's that many quarterbacks out there that could win with those pass catchers he had today.
I actually think like I think Hodgins might just be a flat-out stud.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm talking about like Kenny Galladay. Like it's all like
It's Richie James, Hodgins, Slayton, who's had good moments.
It's
in
a
the
rag.
league.
It's a ragtag crew, though. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
just
it's
think
not like,
Hodgins might just be legit good though.
okay.
The guy's a stud, I think. Like he made some awesome catches today.
I'm just looking at it like dynasty football leagues right now. We're in some dynasty. I've been doing some trades.
Honestly,
like Daniel Jones. Maybe you reach.
Can
for
we
Daniel
pick
Jones.
up Hodgins in a dynasty league right now?
I don't know if it's available yet, but yeah, maybe there's waiver. Sometimes waivers don't go through till after the draft.
I mean, what do you do if Daniel Jones is not your guy? Do you go? I think they do better with a running QB, though, right?
They're in a tough spot because it's like they're in the in between of like, okay, he's done really good. We have to. I think they had zero plans for Daniel Jones to be their quarterback next year going into this year.
But yeah, if you're DeBoe though, like, what do you want to do? You want to get another quarterback or like?
No, I understand.
Yeah, but if he goes to open market, what's he get?
My point was that I think they had no plan. They didn't extend. They didn't pick up his option. Like they had no plans for Daniel Jones to be their quarterback in the 2023 season, and now they have no choice but for him to be their quarterback. And so it just puts them in a weird position where it's like he's playing really good. I just don't know. Like we'll just have to give a couple more years and see if we. Yeah. But then like I don't know.
They don't have a ton of draft capital. They're like pick 23 round 1, pick 55 round 2, pick 87 round 3, pick 101 round 3. Like it's not like it's not like
Yeah, they're not going to get a great quarterback in this draft.
they're not going to get a great quarterback, and they don't have enough to be like, hey, we'll take like Justin Fields, we'll take Trey Lance, because it seems like they really want a running quarterback in that system.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be able to snag one of those guys unless the Niners are okay giving. But it just doesn't make sense. But
Phil,
do you get my line of thinking though a little bit?
Jordan, did you get like Josh Allen vibes though? Like it seemed like Josh Allen last year in this game.
He looked pretty good.
Just how he was running and stuff.
Too much of Daniel Jones to be like, okay,
I know what you mean. But like
he's not Josh Allen. But I get what you're saying. He had some really good runs, man.
Yeah. If you have Daniel Jones in Dynasty right now, maybe sell him for a lot right now. It might be a good time, or hold him, or try to trade for him. I don't know. But it's kind of fun, the offseason trades in Dynasty.
Man, so I can't pick up someone in a Dynasty League
You gotta
right
wait
now?
till after the draft.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's no fun.
I want to pick him up right now.
You can draft him in your draft. What was it? Anything else? You guys want to recap on these games? Been a wild week. Jags definitely the craziest win. What did we have Saturday? That game was man, it seems so long.
No, it was Niners,
He
Seahawks.
carried the ball 17 times.
Yeah,
Daniel
he had more
Jones.
rushing yards than Barkley.
Yeah, he had 78 rushing yards, carried the ball 17 times. His average was 4.6.
The game you're thinking of that you haven't talked about is the Bills and Dolphins. Like, the Dolphins was Skylar Thompson. Josh Allen did not look good. Like, he looked like Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones looked like Josh Allen. Like,
Yeah.
but Josh Allen's always been turnover prone his whole entire career.
Yeah.
And he had 2 fumbles. One they recovered. One I don't like. Do you ever see when he like tries to reach over guys
Yes.
with the ball over his
Yeah.
hand? Why on earth?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just noticed that today, but he does that so
He does
often.
it a lot.
And
He runs with the
Aaron
ball
Allen.
very loosely. You know,
that
not
doesn't
scared.
bother me as much when he's just running an open field. Obviously, someone can come around back, but the problem is when you're approaching a tackler and you try and go over the top.
He's
with
just
the ball.
not. Yeah, his ball security is
Yeah,
not.
it's not. It's sketchy.
But I mean, we got Bills and Bengals next week. That should be very.
What about Huntley trying to reach the ball over?
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Ravens could have very
he
easily
tried
won
to
that
be.
game.
He tried to be Trevor Lawrence and just couldn't come close.
Yeah. That was a wild play, the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I mean Trevor Lawrence is really good at that, but also it's like
he is really good.
Huntley's trying from like 3 yards out,
And he
it's
thought he
like-
got it.
He thought he got it. And like,
I can't hate on Huntley. I actually like Huntley.
I know you
he's
do.
my boy.
he played well today. I mean, Skylar Thompson played well today too.
Yeah. Honestly, the only thing that killed the Dolphins was they just couldn't get a play in. Like they couldn't.
Oh, my
So
God.
that was hard to watch. I go to Pop Warner games on Saturdays and they get the play in faster than that. It's unreal.
Well, is it Skylar Thompson's fault? Like, I don't
I
think
think it's just inexperience. Is what I
it
think
is. It is.
And a loud, Bills Mafia crowd, Phil, just screaming.
Well, you saw Skylar Thompson like trying to hear what they're actually saying.
You also makes you wonder if they were having some issues with the
maybe.
communication. Like it wasn't clear.
Yeah. Well, and I think that was it that one where there was like 4th and 1, they were going to go for it, and then they were late. Oh no, they got
There was
the
one where
timeout.
the
They got
Bills called
timeout.
a timeout too. And
Oh
saved
yes, when he threw
them.
and then they punted.
Yeah.
Yes, you're 100% right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that one was an interesting one too. Yeah, that one was. There was a lot of good football.
Yeah. A lot of good football. Trevor Lawrence went to the Waffle House after the game, Jordan. That get you all fired up?
Who's been to Waffle House? Anybody been near Waffle?
There's not Waffle Houses really around.
No,
us,
they're
right?
more in the south.
I went
Yeah.
to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in L.A. one time. Surprised you haven't.
I think
been
I
there,
actually
Phil.
have been to a Waffle House once.
I have no desire to go to Roscoe's.
It was kind of, I don't know. I wasn't like, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this is my thing though now.
Yeah, I think it's more of like if you're in LA, just check it off the box. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Went after a Dodger game. But should we jump into some divas here? You guys want to do that?
Yeah, just close it out with some divas.
Yeah. So, right. Well, whether you hate the people in your life or love them, you should tell them about the dudes. We bring people together. The highest compliment our dudes can give us is a referral of their friends and family. Just remember, don't be rude. Share the dudes. Also sign up for our dudes letter. We have Fantasy Dad. He'll be coming to you soon. Every bi-weekly articles. I believe he has one coming out here. Give him a follow also at tffdad. And yeah, just speaking of divas, Aaron Donald today posted on Twitter. He changed his bio on Twitter to former NFL lineman. And then everyone made a big deal of it. And then he put, NFL lineman. So
Is that your diva trend? Because I actually think that's a good one. Like professional
no,
athletes.
it's not my diva, but go for it.
Like
Take it.
I actually like think that because this is something that happens a lot. Like these professional athletes who try to get like And maybe the real divas are the people, the actual normal people
Who buy into it.
who are like searching people's social medias 24/7, trying to find when they delete things or like take away like their affiliation with the team. But like these athletes just do it just to get a rise out of people, and it's like
I don't
come
even
on.
know if people. There are people that are just like the lowest low of people in the world that just like search like
Scour.
certain words on people's Twitter profiles
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
No,
But
I mean, there's
also-
people like
yeah.
all of a sudden you'll be like, who's a LeBron James removed. You know, that's a bad example. Like, they're just some random person. I'll be like, he removed. Well, the Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, right?
Oh, yes.
Removes the Ravens affiliate. You know, it doesn't say Ravens in his bio anymore. He deleted all his pictures in the Ravens.
I always
or
also
Kyler
think
Murray
it's kind
too.
of. I
Like,
also think it's kind of weird. when
Yes,
they do
that's the big one.
it's like, how do you know that? Are you really watching it every 5 minutes? Like, come on.
I do think there are people that Aaron Donald's a big enough name though that there's probably 100 people at least an hour that just click on his profile, not even looking for stuff, and
Yeah.
then someone's just like, "Oh, former." What?
That's a little bit different.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but there are the
No,
you know,
and I think the athletes are divas too. They're just trying to get rises out of people, and it's like you're
why
trying
would
to
you delete
create
Instagram
controversy.
photos? You know what I mean? Like of your
Oh
team.
yes,
like,
for
that's-
sure. You know, if you're you're dating a girl and you guys break up and then you end up getting married, you probably should delete the photos of you
Yeah.
and your ex. You know what I'm
Fair.
saying? Like that I get. We got a producer over here saying no. Maybe that should be up for debate. Whether you should do that or not. But I could see that, but I don't really understand. Like it's a former organization that you played with.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's weird.
But
And I don't think he's coming back for what it's worth. I think Aaron Donald is.
think he's done?
I think he's done. Yeah.
what about even like Sean McVay? I'm going to retire now. I'm not retired.
Yeah.
Just
I don't know if he said that though. He was just like,
He
I
said
just
that
need
he
to
was-
think about it.
And
Yeah.
it's not the first time he said that either. He said that yet last year after they won Super Bowl, he was thinking about not coaching. I don't know how much he loves coaching.
He seems to though.
Yeah, because he has that memory where he like remembers what play he ran on like the third quarter of the Super Bowl. Like you could ask him
Yeah,
like,
but I
"Hey,
don't
this
know if
game in
he-
1995, it was second down and 5," and he's like, "Oh yeah, sweep right, no flex right." Like
Yeah.
he
But does
remembers.
he just doesn't seem like people who love coaching are not like, man, I think I'm gonna retire so I can go make a bunch of money doing the announcing. Like
I
I think he loves football.
he loves football,
I
but
think
when
he
you
loves
see,
being in the locker room, like being in the competitiveness, but I don't know if he loves coaching,
and I agree with you there. The other thing that I would say is though, when you see him on a mic in an interview, he's not. He's like he's very LA. He's an entertainer, and I don't know how much I would enjoy that unless it was severely tapered back when he gets into the booth. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you don't like Tony Romo is kind of like he gets out there, he starts talking with his hands, he gets excited. But Sean McVay never gets below a 9.5 on the excitement level. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I
get what you're
could
saying.
deal with that during a halftime show. You know what I'm saying? Or like even
Yeah,
in the
for
booth,
sure.
it's like, come on, man, like tone it down. Like let's just get through this game.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
All right. You want me to do my diva here? I'll do it.
yeah, it's up to you.
All right. I'm going socks. Like socks, I don't know what it is this past year. I cannot get a pair of socks that I don't like rip a hole in like
Oh no, I
in
agree.
like
Yes,
within 6
yes.
months.
I will say I don't mean to like rain on your parade here, Trent, but like last year around Black Friday, so of 2021, I bought a whole thing of Nike dry fit socks.
Yeah, you buy like 3 packs at a time.
I
so you don't have
bought
to buy
one
them every
pack, and then I mean I've had I've worn the same Nike pair. I'm gonna sound like an idiot here, but like for like almost 4 years, and I started barely getting holes. I had to buy a new thing. These ones I got holes in all of them after 6 months.
Yeah.
No,
no, you're not
I
wrong.
bought Hanes. I'm sorry to just go after these people. I bought Hanes at Walmart. 3 months got holes.
Yeah.
Fruit of the Loom, 3 months got holes. Like, do I have to go buy?
I'm talking
do I have to
about
go to-
Nike.
Yeah,
Like,
do I have to go to
Nike
Stance? Stance, not a sponsor, but they have lifetime warranty on all their socks. But I don't want to spend a fortune on socks either, though. You know what I'm saying?
But maybe
Like,
you have to.
it is unbelievable. You look
So
at,
the socks from 4 years ago still barely have holes.
Yeah.
But
Did
the
they-
ones that are 4 months old are getting.
It's
yeah,
bad.
no, it's like I've noticed in the past year, socks have gotten terrible. So yeah, socks. I threw away 2 pairs of socks this week, and I tell my wife every time, "Hey, throwing away another pair of socks." Like, no, it's just like I don't know. Again, I'm getting socks at Walmart, but you just said Nike.
Nice. Like I got new ones now again. Like I got a thing, some for Christmas. I bought a another two things on Black Friday. I'm being very careful with how I have to put them on. I can't just put them on. I got to like put them on slowly to make sure they don't, because around the heel they were always getting the holds, because I'd put them on and then they would, the stitching, like it would break.
Yeah, because you pull them on tight.
I pull them on tight. So now I'm having to like barely like kind of inch them, like being very careful with how I put them on.
Because we're not freaks. Like you can't have folded up socks when you put your shoes on. You know what?
Yeah.
Like the little creases on the front.
no.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, the sock companies, it is wrong what they're doing to
That's
us,
a good
but
take, Trent.
they are taking advantage of middle class America, and I just can't make it. I can't let it stand. Like
Big socks.
I want to be able to go to Walmart, buy a pair of socks, and it lasts a year. Like, is
Yeah.
that too much to ask?
I feel like they should last 2 years, 3 years. Like,
I'm under 6 months.
for
That
sure,
is unacceptable.
For sure,
Yeah.
Nike, your socks, they're not that cheap. They're not cheap enough to be like they last 3 months, 4
Oh,
months.
I was going through like on Amazon, just like, well, I'll try this sock company. No, I can't find a good one. So it's like, I'll be honest, I found some Dodger socks on Stance. They were $4 for one pair, but those socks are only $19 a pair. So I was like, okay, I'll get 3 pairs of these, and
Did you get them?
I did 3 pairs because they were $4.50 for one pair for a pair of socks. That's
Trent's just gonna wear Dodger socks
Yeah, it's
24/7.
all I'm wearing is Dodger socks with jeans,
Business casual all the time.
Sock companies, I hope I'm going to make this YouTube short and,
Someone
we
reach
need
out
answers.
to them.
We need answers. No, like the American man, the middle class man deserves a pair of socks.
Really, anyone who wears socks.
Yeah, why just
Yeah,
the middle class
yeah.
man?
Because the middle class man can't afford to just keep buying socks.
What about the lower class man?
Even bigger problem.
Exactly.
But
That's
yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, so put a sock in it. Phil, what's your diva?
So my diva is fantasy related, and I think I'm going to get a little flack from Jordan on this one. Probably maybe even a little bit from Trent. The points against guy in the group chat. You know who I'm talking about? The points
Yeah.
against guy.
The guy who
right?
complains about he has the most points scored against him.
Yes, every single, or when you like, hey, did you play fantasy football this year? Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah,
Or like,
but-
where'd you end up? I was, I was almost made it to the playoffs, but if you looked at it, like I had a ton of points allowed against me.
I got unlucky.
The unlucky guy. And I think, and here's the thing about fantasy football, like in reality, like we're not athletes, right? You may look at me and be like, that guy may have a touch of athleticism.
Just a touch.
Hey,
Just a
if
touch.
you think he doesn't have a touch of athleticism and you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit us a thumbs up.
Yeah,
right
let
now.
me
And
know.
subscribe.
Let me know.
Subscribe, hit the bell.
So, we're not athletes, so we have to be a little bit more cerebral in our game, right? You need to be, you can get in the minds of other. And I think if you have the, like, not only if you didn't make the playoffs and you're the highest on points allowed, guys, you basically take a double L. Like, get into that group chat and start kind of, start chirping at the person that you're playing. Start spreading a little doubt in their mind. Like, you're not, like, I told the Trent this, you're not going to get a guy to not start Josh Allen. Like, no one would do that, right? Unless the person is like significantly mentally weak that you're playing against and just is like, oh yeah, Josh Allen's gonna have a bad game, I'm not gonna start him. Like, you're not gonna get someone to do that. But like maybe a Daniel Jones type situation, right? Like, man, dude, like I know you have Daniel Jones on your roster, but I don't know if you're gonna start. Like, this defense is pretty solid. Like, I don't know if I would start this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might slip by someone who has a Daniel Jones who is going to have a good game. You may be able to reduce the amount of points scored on you just by getting a little, and it doesn't just have to be in the group chat. Like, this needs to be everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? Call the guy, write him about it a little bit. If you run into him at church, tell him.
Beat your opponent down.
Mentally beat your opponent down so that you won't be the highest points allowed guy. You know what I'm saying? And this is entirely possible. But again, you're not going to get
Phil's going to see it after church and be like, hey, dude, we got an hour to the 1 o'clock game kick off.
Like,
you might want to take that guy out of your lineup. I don't think he's going to do very well.
Yeah, and have some stats. Like, just come at him, use those
Make
various,
up stats.
if you need to, make
You're
up
like,
stats.
hey, I heard that the backup got activated. He was going to take some of his snaps a little
Yeah.
bit.
I heard he was, kind of limping around the practice field. Like,
warm-ups didn't look too good.
warm-ups didn't look too good. So all I'm saying is, like, if that is your excuse, I have a major problem with you. Like come, figure out the situation. You are a diva. Like, don't complain about this. Next year, if you're worried you're going to be the biggest points allowed guy, come to the plate with an idea of how you're not going to be that guy.
Be better, work harder.
Be better, work harder, have a strategy, and don't complain about it.
And winners win.
Winners win. Jordan, we might as well just end the pod with that. Winners win. Don't be the diva, the points allowed guy.
Be better, work harder, winners win.
Winners win.
Should we make a T-shirt that says "Fantasy Athlete"?
That actually would be a great. That would be a great shirt. Fantasy athlete. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, always thinking
That
about
might be one of your best ideas on this pod.
All right, well, we're going to wrap this show up. Jordan, you can get us the pick totals from last week, maybe, and we're going to make some picks for this Sunday. We'll get Seth's later, of course, and we're going to run through them pretty quick.
So, I went 5-1 here. Trent went 5-1. Phill went 4-2. Seth went 4-2 so far, because we also included the TCU Georgia game, and somehow Seth picked TCU. I don't know what that guy was thinking.
No, Seth is like a fish, okay? And when I say that, he gets attracted to shiny objects.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So all those TCU flashy shirts, those are like lures to Seth. He's like, oh, memes, So Seth's the fish of the pod. You shine some tinfoil on that guy's eyes, and all of a sudden he loses his train of thought. He's like, oh, hey, TCU, yeah, go Frogs. But so we'll do today's picks.
And Seth and I have Tampa Bay. Trent and Phill have Dallas winning, so that's TBD on that game.
Okay. Well, so we're going to do some picks here. Today's picks are brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the dude's favorite place to do DFS. You pick 2 to 6 players, over under on their projection. You can win up to 10 times an entry. Just you versus the projected numbers. Promo code dudes, and they will match you up to $100. Really helps us out, guys. But honestly, a lot of you have been reaching out to me like, hey, how can I help the dudes out? Hunter, played linebacker in college football, wears a neck roll, pretty bad dude. Asked me, hey, I like the dudes. How can I help you guys out? Honestly, biggest way you can help us out, scrolling on the bottom, give us a 5-star rating and review. But if you really want to help us out, go ahead and don't be rude. Share the dudes. Just share this pod with a friend that helps us out. Like, hey, man, you had the most points scored against you this year in fantasy football. Check out the dudes. Don't be afraid of, making your league. What's the problem with making your league better? That, cream rises to the top,
Cream rises to the top.
Maybe share a draft. But yeah, it really helps us out, guys, if you share us with a friend, So just, don't be rude. Share the dudes. Jordan, you got the schedule popped up.
So we got Jacksonville, KC is on Saturday. And then we got New York Giants at Philadelphia. That's on Saturday night. And then we got Cincinnati and Buffalo Sunday. Then the first game on Sunday. And then we got whoever wins the Cowboys Bucks game versus the Niners.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is a great week right here. I don't know, Super Wildcard Weekend is my favorite weekend of NFL football, and it did not disappoint this year. This weekend is also very good. Saturday, we got the early 1:30, Pacific time game. We got the Jaguars traveling to Kansas City. Is anyone taking the Jags here?
I'm not going to ruin the mojo here. I'm going to take the Jaguars.
Phill, you taking the Jags?
That would be bad mojo to take.
Jordan, let me know. I want to support you in this. I'm taking the Chiefs.
I don't blame you.
I'm going to go Chiefs also here. We will get Seth's later. And then next, Jordan, we got the 9-7-1 Giants traveling to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, who is 14-3. I'm going to go with the Giants here. I think they look good. They've lost to the Eagles twice. I know the Eagles have the bye. Eagles, maybe they've struggled a little bit lately defensively. I just really like the Giants coach. I like Duval. I'm getting on that. And I'm a Cowboys
fan. And it's
fan.
hard for you to say that.
On the Giants bandwagon. It would not surprise me if the Giants just came out and had a really good year next year, though. All these games are just, helping them for the future. But Phill, who are you going with? You going with Philadelphia?
I'm going with Philly, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go Philadelphia.
All right. You want to give us the Sunday games, Jordan?
Yeah, it's Cincinnati Buffalo is the first game on Sunday.
Is this a neutral site or is this in Buffalo?
It's in Buffalo.
It's in Buffalo. Okay, so if
no, that sounded familiar. There was
the neutral site game will be if Buffalo wins and Kansas City wins, and it'll be a neutral site.
Okay.
I am gonna go Cincinnati.
What are you gonna do, Phill?
I want the I want the Bills, but I think the Bengals are going to win.
I'm going to go Bills, but this could be a rough week for me. But Burrow just knows how to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, but I'm going to go Bills win this one.
He's a gritty guy.
Yeah. All right.
See what you did there, Phill.
All right. Then we got Cowboys/Bucks going to San Francisco.
I'm taking San Francisco no matter who wins.
Same.
I don't know if that changes. If it changes for Trent, if you have to wait, I think you can wait. I think that's realistic for you to wait.
I'm going to go with whoever wins tomorrow, Monday Night Football. I'm going to go with Cowboys or Bucks.
You think they can beat the Niners?
I think so. I did do a big playoff bracket, and I had 49ers beating. I had the Bills beating the 49ers in my work playoff bracket.
Okay.
But I just think, like, if Brady beats the Cowboys Monday night, I think he goes back to San Francisco. He got totally embarrassed the last time he was there.
Yeah, that was
I just think he's going to be better. I think they're playing better now. Like, I think it'll at least be a decent game. But yeah, I'm going to go whoever wins that one. Be a little different than you guys. But I think that kind of does it for our show. It's been a fun
I'm
one.
going Niners. I don't think I said that. I'm going Niners.
All right. I think that kind of does it. Is there anything else you guys want to say? You know, thanks for tuning into us on the off season, guys. Appreciate it. These pods are fun still.
Yep.
We'll see you on. We'll have a draft on Wednesday on YouTube, so you'll want to check that out. It's a fun one. Got a nice little movie draft there, and then it'll be out on Thursday wherever you listen to podcast. And you want to say go Jags or anything? Go Hawks, Phil. Anything you guys want to add? I can't.
Oh, we only got a Jags. We got your guys playing. You want to say go boys or what?
Yeah, go boys. No, that is the weirdest thing.
People say that. People abbreviate it that
go
way.
Cowboy, go boys. No one says that.
Yeah, like, what's up, boys?
When they're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, what's up, boys? No. All right. Well, hey, guys, thanks for tuning in as always. And as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.